Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Always acknowledge fault, frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. By land, they're not making it anymore. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. The reason so many people never get anywhere in life is because when opportunity knocks, they are out in the backyard looking for four-leaf clovers. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, certainly I can. Then get busy and find out how to do it. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Our labor preserves us from three great evils: weariness, vice, and want. Dost thou love life, then do not squander time. For that's the stuff life is made of. It is enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Think how difficult it is to change yourself, and you will understand how insignificant your opportunities are to change others. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for requiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged to have all their five senses in the keeping of their wits. To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He is sure to find an easy way of doing it. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. Man will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. Never argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools. They don't have brains enough to be honest. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. The truth must be served like a coat, and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. When you're finished changing, you're finished. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Write injuries in dust, benefits in marble. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. I would rather obey a fine lion, much stronger than myself, than 200 rats of my own species. Let us live so that, when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Actions are the seeds of fate, deeds grow into destiny. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. Big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Circumstances make man, not man circumstances. What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others, and the world remains and is immortal. Better or broken promise than none at all. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Grief can take care of itself, But to get the full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. It is a wise child that knows its own father, and an unusual one that unreservedly approves of him. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. The man who was a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. Whatever a man's age, he can reduce it by several years by putting a bright colored flower in his buttonhole. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon, and wise too late. When in doubt, tell the truth. There are 869 different forms of lying, but only one of them has been squarely forbidden. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. You have enemies good. That means you stood up for something, sometime in your life. It is the little conveniences that make the real comfort of life. To be busy is man's only happiness. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. I'm an old man, and I have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. What more valuable than gold? Diamonds than diamonds' virtue. Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. In this world, nothing could be said to be certain, except death and taxes. There are three things extremely hard: steal a diamond and to know oneself. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. We lavish gifts upon children, but the most precious gift, our personal association, which means so much to them, we give grudgingly. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. He that can have patience can have what he will. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. Don't hit it at all, if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting. But never hit soft. Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. At 20 years of age, the will reigns. At 30, the wit, and at 40, the judgment. There is no man living that can do more than he thinks he can. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them. A false friend and a shadow attend only while the sun shines. I saw a few die of hunger of eating 100,000. He that speaks much is much mistaken. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst of our own fears. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. The art of medicine consists of amusing the patient, while nature cures the disease. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Do what you can with what you have where you are.